Love beyond dowry. The price of beauty. In the grand kingdom of Oyo, Olabisi was known for her beauty, intelligence, and grace. Her father, Chief Odigan, one of the wealthiest men in the land, had set her bride price so high that only the richest men dared to seek her hand in marriage. While many young maidens envied her, Olabisi felt trapped. She longed for love, not wealth. Yet, her father reminded her daily that marriage was about legacy, not love. One evening, while walking through the village market, she heard the sweet sound of a flute. She followed the melody and saw a young man sitting under a palm tree, playing with his eyes closed. His clothes were simple, his hands rough from labor, but his music spoke of joy and freedom. For the first time in a long while, Olabisi smiled. The flute player. Ayadir was the son of a poor farmer but had the soul of a poet. He spent his days working on the farm and his nights playing the flute, dreaming of a love as deep as the rivers of Oyo. When he opened his eyes and saw Olabisi standing before him, he felt a strange pull in his heart. She was the most beautiful woman he had ever seen, but the longing in her eyes struck him most. "Your music is beautiful," Olabisi said softly. Ayadil smiled, setting down his flute. "Music is the voice of the heart," he replied. "And what does your heart say?" Olabisi hesitated. Her heart spoke of dreams beyond riches, of love that was free and unburdened. But in Oyo, dreams did not always come true. The forbidden friendship. Over the next few days, Olabisi found herself drawn to the palm tree where Ayadil played his flute. They talked about life, freedom, and the stars over Oyo at night. With him, she felt lighter, as if the weight of expectations no longer suffocated her. But she knew their friendship was dangerous. If her father or the elders discovered her spending time with a poor farmer's son, there would be consequences. One evening, as they sat by the riverbank, Ayadil reached out and took her hand. "I may not have gold or land," he said, "but I have love, Olabisi. If love were enough, would you choose me?" Her heart raced. She knew the answer, but saying it aloud felt like defying the very laws of her people. "Love should be enough," she whispered. But in the kingdom of Oyo, love was never enough. The whispering wind. Rumors began to spread. Servants had seen Olabisi sleeping away at dusk, and whispers reached Chief Adigon's ears. One night, as Olabisi returned home, she found her mother waiting for her with worry in her eyes. "Who is he?" her mother asked. Olabisi hesitated. "A friend," she said. "A friend who makes you smile like a girl in love," her mother pressed. Olabisi looked away. "Does love not matter, mother?" Her mother sighed. "Love is a luxury, my child. In our world, we marry for honor, for wealth, for stability. But what of happiness?" Her mother's eyes filled with sorrow. "Happiness is a gift few are given, Olabisi." For the first time, fear crept into Olabisi's heart. If love was not enough, what would become of her and Ayadil? The gathering storm. Chief Odigon summoned his council of elders. He had heard enough of the whispers and would not have his daughter bring shame to his name. That night, Olabisi was called to the great hall, where her father sat with his peers. "You are to be wed," Chief Odigon declared. Olabisi's heart dropped. "To whom?" "To Adikana, the son of Chief Balegan. He is wealthy and strong. The arrangement has been made." Her breath caught in her throat. "But, father..." "Enough," he thundered. "You will obey." Olabisi's world crumbled. She had to find a way to fight for her love. But in a kingdom where wealth ruled over hearts, could love truly conquer all? A desperate plan. Olabisi knew that defying her father would bring disgrace to her family. Yet, the thought of marrying a man she did not love crushed her spirit. As dawn broke, she made a decision: she would flee. She slipped out before the palace awakened, making her way to Ayodele's hut. "We must leave, Ayodele," she pleaded. "I cannot marry Adikana." Ayodele hesitated. Running away meant exile, danger, and an uncertain future. But as he gazed into Olabisi's eyes, he knew he could not let her face this alone. Taking her hand, he nodded. "Then we run." Chased by fate. Before they could escape, Chief Adigon's guards stormed Ayodele's hut. Olabisi screamed as they seized Ayodele. "You dare steal my daughter?" Chief Odigon roared. Bloodied and bruised, Ayodele met his gaze. "I love her." "You are nothing," the chief spat. "She will marry as I command." Olabisi fell to her knees. "Please, father. I love him." But her father's heart had turned to stone. Love is not enough. The queen's intervention. Desperate, Olabisi turned to the queen mother. "Please, grandmother. Let me marry for love." The old woman studied her before nodding. "Love is rare, child. We must fight for it." With the queen mother's backing, a challenge was issued. Ayodele would have to prove himself in a test of strength, wisdom, and bravery against Adikana. If he lost, he would be banished forever. The test of a man. The wrestling match was brutal. Every time Ayodele was thrown, he got back up. Then, with one final move, he flipped Adikana onto his back. The match was won. The wisdom test followed. Adikana answered with arrogance, but Ayodele's words reflected humility. The elders nodded. He passed. The final challenge was the most dangerous, the night in the sacred forest. Many had entered but never returned. Adikana abandoned the trial, but Ayodele, though afraid, stayed and honored the spirits with his flute. By morning, he emerged untouched. Love's victory. Ayodele had won all 3 trials. Even Chief Odigon could not deny the truth. Ayodele had proven himself worthy. With a reluctant nod, he granted his daughter's hand in marriage. Tears filled Olabisi's eyes as she embraced Ayodele. Love had triumphed over wealth, tradition, and fear. What would you choose, love or duty? If you enjoyed this epic tale, don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more captivating stories.